Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Freely. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about 8 paid and free upgrades for your Canon M50. So this kind of came as an idea as like an upgrade in the sense that this will kind of make your experience with the Canon M50 a little bit better. So I didn't want to just make one that was all paid upgrades. I wanted to make one that was kind of, you know, if you just got your camera and you're just kind of looking for a couple free ones that you can do right now, I kind of wanted to make a video that encompassed that aspect also. So yeah, alright, so let's just jump right into it. So of course, turn on your camera and you're gonna hit the menu button, and if you had just bought this camera, you might be already set to that white like a little bit brighter menu. They call it a guided menu. So this is mostly meant for beginners, those who are first getting into cameras. It has a lot of detail when it comes to changing different settings. And if you want and have ever seen the darker menu option, I'll show you how to do that right now. So you're gonna want to go to all the way to the right to where it says display level settings, and you're gonna hit that button, and then where it says menu display, you're gonna change it to standard. So once you have it to standard, you're gonna hit that menu button again, and you have the regular dark menu style, I guess you could say. So this is a lot better because it saves battery because of the darker screen, and it just gets you used to using this kind of menu style, because a lot of their later cameras from Canon all pretty much look just like this, but just with more options. So yeah, that's our first free upgrade. So the next thing on this list is going to be remapping the record button to the shutter button right here. So when you first get the camera, most likely your record button is going to be mapped to that little tiny red record button on top. As for me, I really don't like that button because it's such a small button and there's not much like height, I guess, when you actually press it down. So when you actually press it, sometimes you don't know if you're pressing it, or sometimes you accidentally press it because there's really no feedback. There's like a very small click, but it's very highly unnoticeable. So you can map that to the shutter button, which you know, you can take pictures with, which I think is really handy. So you're gonna go into your menu and you're gonna go into the red folder, and you're gonna go to menu number 5 in that camera setting mode, and you're gonna go to the bottom where it says BTN function. That stands for button function. You're gonna go into there where it says fully press and it says no function, but you're gonna click that, set it to start and stop movie recording. So once you have that selected, you can go back and you can just test it out right now. If you have it in video mode, you can just hit the shutter button and it'll start recording. So this, in my opinion, is a lot better than using that record button, because it actually gives you that real feeling that you're actually hitting a record button. It gives that nice click sound and you know it's recording. I guess the only downside to this is that if you're in any other mode besides video mode, that shutter button is going to automatically be mapped to photo. You can't actually remap that record button to anything else, but if you're in any other mode and you hit record, it'll still start recording. So I mean, that button is always going to be there. It's just that it just feels a lot better to be hitting the shutter button to record rather than hitting that small little record button. Alright, moving on to the next point. This is going to be the ISO speed settings. So if you go to the menu button, hit that again, you go to that red tab and you go to page number 2, you're going to see a setting called ISO speed setting. If you go into that, there's going to be a setting called ISO auto. So you're gonna most likely have that setting on max 12800. What that basically tells you is that if you have your ISO on auto, you can pretty much have it max out at 6400 or 12800. What I learned from my dad is to keep it at that 6400 for at least the Canon M50, because that's where you really start seeing all the graininess and the noise in the shot. So once you have it at 6400, it'll pretty much cap at that 6400 and it won't go anywhere past that, where it really starts showing the grain. So this is a really cool upgrade if you're shooting in low light and you have it on ISO auto. It won't ever get past that 6400 and it'll pretty much have the range of ISO 100 to 6400 as its range of choosing which ISO it adjusts to. So that's a really cool setting to have, because it kind of gives you peace of mind that if you have it on auto ISO, that it won't go anywhere beyond 6400, where you really start to see the grain on this camera. Alright, moving on to the last free upgrade, and that's going to be the Eco mode on the Canon M50. So if you hit that menu button again and you go to the wrench tab, it's supposed to be yellow, and you go to page 2 on there, you're going to see a setting called Eco mode. So what this basically does is it dims your screen if you have your screen out like this. It dims it if you are not using the camera at the moment. So like if you see here, if I'm just like holding it here, the screen kind of dims a little bit to save battery. So this is a really good setting to have on, especially if you're using the regular Canon batteries or even the third-party batteries. But if you have something like the Canon M50 battery grip, I wouldn't really worry about it too much because the battery just lasts pretty much all day. And with that Eco mode, for me at least, I don't have it on because I have the battery grip, and I just find it annoying sometimes that the screen dims when I'm looking at it. Say I'm just looking at a picture and I'm not doing anything and it just dims. But with the battery grip, it just makes everything better. So, but if you don't have the battery grip, I recommend turning that on so you can save some battery. And before we move on to the paid upgrades for the Canon M50, I want to mention this small tip. It's not really an upgrade, but basically a tip when you're using the Canon M50 is to, when you're not using it, say you just have it on and you're just kind of just waiting around or you're not really doing anything, if you have your screen out like this, I would say turn it inward just to save even more battery, because if the screen is on, of course the battery is going to be draining a little bit more. So I always have the screen flipped inwards to save some battery, but also this also protects your screen. So like compared to having your screen out like this, anything that touches it, like something sharp, is gonna scratch the screen. So having it inside not only saves battery but protects your screen. So yeah, just a quick tip. And now we'll move on to the paid upgrades. So the first paid upgrade for the Canon M50 is going to be a battery grip. So I've talked a lot about the Canon M50 battery grip on my channel. I actually have like an entire playlist talking about all the different things about the battery grip. So definitely check it out if you guys want more info on that. But basically a battery grip completely eliminates the need for carrying multiple batteries with you, whether you're traveling or you're going on like a weekend trip or you're just out and about and just shooting photos and videos. As you guys might know, the battery is like one of the weakest points about the Canon M50 that even I was very annoyed about, especially on several trips I went on where I go out with like 3 batteries and by noon all 3 batteries are dead. So having the battery grip is a really great tool, and I recommend it to anyone who has or is planning to get a Canon M50. If you guys are interested, again, I have playlists talking about the Canon M50 battery grip in the description, and also the link to their website where you can buy your own. And currently, if you guys are still watching this and if it's still going on at this time, I have a giveaway going on for the classic Canon M50 battery grip. So yeah, definitely enter into that, or definitely check it out in the link in the description. So the next paid upgrade is going to be a new camera strap. So this is definitely not a needed upgrade for your Canon M50, but as for me, I didn't really like the stock camera strap that it originally came with. I just thought it really got in the way, especially when you have like this whole ordeal here where it's like flailing about, and I don't like how just to take it off and put it back on is a little bit of a hassle. So one of the first things I did when I got my camera was find a camera strap where I was able to be detached easily and was a very strong strap whenever I did need to wear it around my neck. So the strap I went with was the Peak Design Slide Lite. It's a really cool camera strap. I made a video on it a while back. It's pretty old, but if you guys are interested in seeing that or seeing like a update video of my thoughts on that, definitely leave it in the comments below, or check out my unboxing video I made like a while back. But that's just me. I wasn't really satisfied with this camera strap, and I kind of just wanted one that was more sturdy and was able to detach and reattach really easily. So the next thing on my list is going to be a ND filter. So an ND filter, if you guys don't know, is a neutral density filter and basically acts as sunglasses for your camera. I haven't made a video about this yet, but I'll make a video about it in the near future. Basically, the gist of it is that if you want to shoot in 24 frames a second and you dial in all your settings, you double your shutter speed, you have the right aperture and ISO that you want to shoot in, but your image is still like overblown and way too bright, that's where an ND filter is gonna come in. You're basically gonna screw that onto the front of the lens, and it basically acts as sunglasses for your camera. It's a really cool tool that I recently got also. I was trying to look for it so I could show you guys in this video, but I can't find it. I'll look for it later. But I basically have been playing around with it for a little bit, and it's really cool what you can do with it, and I can't wait to use it more and eventually make some videos to show you guys how to use that ND filter a little bit better. And the last thing on my list is going to be the VideoTrack Speed Booster. If you guys don't know what this is, I made several videos about it in the past, so definitely check those out in the card or in the description. The quick gist of it is that you're able to adapt EF lenses to your Canon M50, but since the Canon M50 is an APS-C sensor size camera, it applies a 1.6 crop if you just purely adapt it to the camera. But what this does is that it takes that 1.6 crop and then it multiplies that by 0.78. It's really complicated. Definitely go check out my videos to go more in depth, but basically this is a really cool upgrade for your camera, because if you have a bunch of EF lenses lying around, say you came from like DSLRs, Canon DSLRs, it'll allow you to adapt those lenses onto your Canon M50, and it'll make it closer to the original focal length of those lenses. So this is a really handy tool. It's a little bit expensive, but it's definitely a handy tool to have. So what do you guys think of all the upgrades that I mentioned in this video, the free ones and the paid ones? So I tried to make this inclusive of all people who have money to spend with the paid ones, but also people who are a little bit more on the budget and don't have the money to spend. So I went with the free upgrades too, and I kind of combined it into just one whole video that I really hope was helpful to you who are watching. If you guys want more videos just like this, or more videos about the Canon M50, check out the playlist I made for this channel. I made one all about cameras, all about the Canon M50. If you guys are interested in the battery grip, definitely check out the battery grip playlist videos. If you guys found some value in this video, definitely consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell, along with hitting that like button if you really like this video. With all that said, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.